My name is Felix Kilbertus. I'm responsible for the exterior design of Fiat brand. So, of course, this car is a teamwork with people who've been working very hard on the interior, with people from color and trim, and I headed the exterior development of this car.
Where did you draw a lot of the inspiration from? We heard with the original 124, obviously there was a bit of a combination between some American and some Italian styling, obviously with the Corvette and the Ferrari. Where's the design come from for the new one?
I think the car, as you said before, our main challenge was to take inspiration from the original car, the 124 Spider, and to translate it into a modern car. So and you could say even the vintage car had a lot of influences. It was a true Pininfarina design, and as you know, Pininfarina designed virtually all production Ferraris to this very day. So I think what sets the vintage car apart was its economy of line, its sheer simplicity, its beautiful proportions. And I think that was the hard challenge to reinterpret on this modern car, where you have obviously all the modern safety and emission standards and front impact and aerodynamic requirements. So the hard thing was to actually take the best of the past, make it into something modern, but at the same time, you need to look forward. This car can't just reference an old car that has to be in the background. It needs to be a beautiful contemporary car in its own right.
There's also a lot of heritage here. You can see Fiat in the headlights. You can see a bit of that American Chrysler in the taillights.
I think there's a number of things that make this car interesting. First of all, we were very lucky to start with such a beautiful proportion. So I think especially in side view, you can really appreciate a long hood, a compact cabin, and a very short deck, which makes any Spider a truly a car that is designed from the beginning to be an open car, which is not derived from a coupe or a sedan or something like that. So that's we're lucky as designers to start with such a cool base already. I think on the rear, just like on the front, we have a certain part of the ingredients that references the vintage car, and there's certain elements that really tie it into modernity. So here, for example, you can see that we have a very horizontal layout. We have these wings that kind of slant inwards, just like the original gull-wing section, which you can see on the vintage car, and we have horizontal sharp lamps that frame the centrally mounted license plate. So, but at the same time, we have this really modern touch. We have LED lamps, and we have these body-colored panels that actually are part of the rear lamps that very cleverly cover the indicator lamp as well, and which allow the whole rear volume to look even larger and even, give it even more presence and more stance on the back. On the side, as we said before, there's basically, when you have great proportions on the car, you actually need very little means to make this car look good. So just like on the original car, we have a line that basically aims for the center of the front lamp that ever so delicately starts over the fender and then kicks up over the rear door handle and over the rear wheel arch. And I love the way how the front lamp sits in this front volume. Yeah. So, and especially that feature here, I think this is one of the coolest features of this car, which references at the same time the old car, this eyelet and this kind of cool front lamp that aims for the grille, which has the hexagonal shape of the original car. We even have the details of the grille that has this hexagonal pattern. And at the same time, we have this focused look with this little smile, with this little friendly face. And I think that really tells the story about this kind of confident, relaxed thing that doesn't have to try too hard to look cool. The bonnet is another feature where we try to combine a bit of a vintage touch, but at the same time it has a functional story. So even on the original car, the very first models with the original 1.4 had a smooth single section hood. And when they started to upgrade the engine, they actually needed these extra scoops, these power domes, to make room for the new, bigger and more performing engine. And in this case, these scoops also help us accommodate the engine and give us a little bit more space. The interior is a place that also speaks very much about Italian values. It's about this idea of tailor-made, like a suit that really nicely fits you. And I think we put a lot of effort in the materials and in everything you touch. So the entire upper dash is made from soft materials. There's a little stitched eco leather hood on the instruments. We have a very beautiful door panel with very chunky grips. We have a gear shift that is beautiful to touch. We have a fully sectioned steering wheel. We have these kind of retro-looking seats. So the whole thing, everything was designed around you. And I think this one, just like for the exterior, we had this keyword which was called basically new old tech. And it's all about taking like what made the original car so cool and translating it through modern technologies, through beautiful materials into something that you really want to drive.